So today what we are going to do is we are going to see how this Mushaf, the original Mushaf at the time of Sayyidina Uthman radiallahu anhu, how it evolved, how the differences came in, and what we have today in our shelves, this Qur'an, how did it become that, whatever, however it changed. So the stages that it went through, that is what inshallah we will talk about. Yeah, this was the last slide that we talked about last time, and this was how the left one that you see was how it looked during the time of Sayyidina Uthman radiallahu anhu. And we mentioned many things last time, that how letter for letter is preserved. I showed last time how each and every letter that you can map, even the silent letters, the waw, the alif, even though you don't see that easily, but everything can be matched from one on one. So this is how it looks now, and this is how it was. So it went through a lot of stages before it became this. So we will see who added it, why they added it, and what happened, and in which age and what era it happened. So let's look at the differences. I put some differences, like the total from the original to the latest one. What all differences do we have? And I put a sample page here. So the first, if you compare the previous slide with this slide, if you notice that there is this tashkil added. Tashkil meaning, you know, the fatha, kasra, dhamma, a, e, u sound. That sound is that these are added as part of this. It's an addition. It wasn't there in the original Mushaf. And also the nuqat. The nuqat basically means the dots. You know, like for example, the ba, ta, they have dots, right? 2 dots. Originally it wasn't there. If you look, there was no dots there. So people would recognize it from the writing itself, the context itself. We will see how it got added, but this is just a summary. And also you see the verse ending and starting. This wasn't there in the beginning. So scholars made ijtihad based on whatever hadith that they collected. They said, okay, that hadith mentions there's a stop there. So, and they also made ijtihad where the verse ends and starts. And we also see the surah names here. This was also added later on. Earlier there was no such division. They would probably just write Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim and people would know, like, okay, this is a new surah. And also the divisions, did you see the hizbs, the juz, the hizb, the ruku'? This is all, we have it now, but during those times they didn't have 30 juz. They had something called manzil that the scholars, the Sahaba used to, recite every 7. They try to complete in 7 days, so they divided in terms of manzil. But this division of juz, ruku', and the hizb that we usually have, that's not there. And these markings that also you see, the sajda. They had so they knew the surah name, but they didn't write it in the Mushaf. So yeah, and also the writing material. This is what we have it like electronic format and also the paper format, right? Earlier, what did they use to write? The example, the Sayyidina Uthman radiallahu anhu's Mushaf. What did they write it on? The parchment, right? The skin of the animal, the treated one. So they used to write on that one. So that this, I think, in 2nd century of the Hijri year, 150, 160, I think Muslim empire started to grow. And they reached like up to Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and there's like Western China. And China at that time had developed this invented paper. So that's when Muslims started to write it on paper as well. So earlier it wasn't on paper. So that's a difference. And also copying. How did people used to copy during those times? During the time of Khulafa, they used every single Mushaf they used to write by hand. Imagine how much of hard work they had to do. Now it's just going to that room and making copies, and makes so many. And we have printing presses. I'm going to talk a little bit about the printing press today as well, inshallah. And calligraphy. The calligraphy, as you know, it's mainly concerned with the handwriting, how you decorate and how you beautify something. And in English you have something called cursive writing, right? So it's not like regular alphabets. You try to beautify it. So that's how the calligraphy came in. So if you see this is very simple, right? The simple Arabic. But now they try to write differently, make it beautiful. So they made rules how a letter should look. So and so on. We'll see that as well, inshallah. And also the different scripts that came in. So if you go to Northern Africa, they'll have a different script, Maghribi script, and I have some snapshots for that as well. And if you go to Indian subcontinent, there is another script. So different kinds of scripts that we have, and we'll see how that came out. When did it start, and who started it, inshallah. And some decorations also, you see this border and everything. People added it later on just to beautify it. And tajweed rules as well is added recently. This is a recent phenomenon where people try to show the tajweed rules. Many people just read the Quran as is, but there are a lot of tajweed rules. For example, in this Mushaf, they have like if they want to show ikhfa, they show with like two separated lines, right? And if it is izhar, they will be like on top of each other. So instead of saying kuntum, you say kuntum. You don't touch your tongue. So that is called ikhfa. And also like ghunna, also in this Mushaf it is not shown, but we have those, you heard those, right? Color-coded tajweed rules. There they highlighted with like red color or something. So instead of saying inna, you say inna. So that's like ghunna. So the whole focus here was that, people wanted that, the scholars wanted that everybody should read how Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to read. So they brought different ways how this can happen. So the color-coded tajweed rules is one. In this Mushaf, you don't have color, but there are a lot of marks that can help you with the tajweed rules. Our Sheikh on Sunday teaches here how to know those rules based on the Mushaf. And also you see this meme letter here, like this is called... Correct. It's the rules of pronunciation, how Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to pronounce it, and we'll go into the definition later on, inshallah. So again, qalqala, a lot of rules, instead of saying Ibrahim, we say Ibrahim, you bounce it a little, and iqlab, so on. I mean, Sunday we'll go a lot of detail, inshallah. And what is wuquf? What is wuquf? Wuquf is also, it's added recently. It wasn't part of original Mushaf. Wuquf basically means there are like signs in the Quran, like if you want to read, you cannot just stop anywhere you want. If like for example a verse is very long, right, 3 or 4 lines for this verse, if you want to like take a breath in the middle, so there are like rules for it, and so there are some places you should stop, you must stop, right? And there are some places where it is better that you stop, and there are some places where it's okay if you want to stop, and there are some places where it is better not to stop. So there are 5 conditions, and there are some places where it is not at all permitted to stop, because you can actually change the meaning if you stop there, right? So the scholar said that people just read, so there should be some rules where we tell people that, hey, don't stop there, just continue somehow. So, for example, like maybe in this Mushaf, what do we have? Like this, you see this lam, alif, la, it basically means don't stop there, because you have to continue, otherwise the meaning might change, or some other, it might not be, it might give undesirable meaning, so you have to continue. Then you see sometimes qaf or saleh or something like that. So these are the different summary of the rules that I was talking about, the differences.